Right, hey, and welcome to another episode of Beetle Dustino, coming at you today with another video. This one, another one, like I said with the John Lennon one, a long time in the making. Been on that George journey to that George Harrison album ranking. And before I get started any further, of course, let me say happy birthday to George Harrison. I didn't even realize this as I was planning this out. I knew his birthday was in February, so I kind of was like, well, George Harrison month. I didn't realize I would time this out this perfect for this video to be released on this day. So happy birthday to George Harrison. All right. And again, too, before we get going any further, I do want to send a thanks out to all my subscribers. Thanks to any new subscribers. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Do hit the notification bell too, so you know when there are new videos coming out, like what's on the rack or what's in the box or album ranking videos, which seem to be rare on my channel, but we'll get a few out there. Also, please leave a comment. I do like having a discussion with everybody, and please give the video a like too if you did like the video. But let's get on with the George Harrison album ranking video. Of course, let me just start out with the big disclaimer. I always got to, any album ranking, I'm going to throw this out here. You know, it's so tough, especially with artists as good as George Harrison or the Beatles or, you know, whoever. They're great artists, so any album they put out is going to be really good. Yes, there's going to be some that maybe aren't as good as others, but there's still some fan out there is going to find something in them that they're going to enjoy. They might rank it a little higher than you. I'm going to rank mine different than any of yours. If we didn't have different rankings, these videos wouldn't be fun to watch. So please take everything with a grain of salt, and remember too, these could change at any moment for any of us. As I was making this, I mean, again, I kind of had it kind of one way, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, yep, these are going to just move just a little bit higher, lower, whatever. So it can change from day to day, hour to hour, so forth and so on. So I'm going to probably once a year, I'll try to revisit all these album rankings and just kind of go through them again and just see kind of where I'm sitting that particular year or that particular time. Let's get on with the ranking here. I do want to start out, I didn't mention with John, I didn't mention the kind of the experimental albums, Two Virgins, Life of Lions, Wedding Album. I didn't mention those. I am going to mention George's. I don't have the records on these, but Electronic Sound and Wonderwall Music. These aren't going to be included in this. They would be the very bottom anyway. I just don't see including them. It's not quite the same as the rest. So these are not included. We are going to get on with it here, though. Of course, he does got pretty much 10 albums. So I did include Milk and Honey and John's. So, of course, I got to include Brainwashed and George's. But let's get on with number 10. And number 10, I'm going with Extra Textra. I said that again wrong. I said that in the Apple Years one wrong. Extra Texture. Read all about it. Extra Textra. I don't know. Anyways, there's number 10. Yeah, originally released on September 22nd of 1975. I'm going to go through just some kind of highs and lows with each one, and not necessarily maybe songs that would be a high or a low, but most of my, with the highs, I am going to definitely mention the songs. You, of course, on this one is one that's a great one. Everybody loves that song. This Guitar Can't Keep From Crying. Fantastic song. You know, it's kind of a, I don't know, this album was really kind of a tough one for him. It does got its moments, but it's so repetitive. And the big famous song, You, is super repetitive itself. But yet that one kind of gets a pass. I don't know why. But the lyrics on every single one of these songs, for the most part, is just the same thing over and over again. And that, I think, might be part of it. I know I saw somebody else say that people kind of complain that he's whiny on it. And yeah, maybe, but I don't know if that's what kind of brings it down for me. It's just kind of a, I hate to say, a forgettable album. Anyway, yeah, some of my letters are missing there. That's why I can't really rank this one that high. I've enjoyed listening to it, don't get me wrong. Each one of these albums is a great album in my opinion. And I'm going to, whether I put them on or not, you know, if I'm going to put it on and listen to it, I'm going to enjoy it to some degree. There's just some I'm going to enjoy just a little bit more. And this one does kind of rank down there. And that's what I'm going to attribute it to, is kind of that repetitiveness. And next up at number 9, we're going to have Dark Horse. Again, this one does seem to be everybody's kind of towards the bottom there. The songs on this I really like is So Sad. Bye Bye Love, I really like what he did, kind of changing up the lyrics, kind of fitting his life with what was going on with him at that time. Very interesting. I do like Ding Dong Ding Dong. I know some people kind of put that one down. I do like it a lot. Of course, Dark Horse, great tune. boy, but you can really hear his voice crack in that one. Everybody talks about his voice being out on this. That one, definitely, you could hear it in. And yet, it's one of his better songs off of it. So, I don't know. Some ways his voice kind of being a little rougher does make that song a little better. But and then I do really enjoy Far East Man. And I'm gonna ruin everybody here on this. If you haven't already been hearing it, I've noticed a couple of things, a couple of George songs. The famous CCR with "There's a Bathroom on the Right" and Jimi Hendrix with "Excuse Me While I Kiss This Guy." This one, I don't know how many times I listened to it going, why is he singing about a policeman? Why, I swear the title of the track is Far East Man. Why does it sound like he's saying a policeman? He's a policeman. You can thank me for that one now. All right. But anyways, those are some of the songs I really do like off of it. So there's quite a few on there that I do really like. Yeah, his voice was the big letdown on this one. It was a little off for recording an album. He should have maybe taken a year off. I suppose there was contractual obligations and so forth and so on. Yeah, he should have just kind of taken a break because there's great songs on here. It would have been with a better voiced George. I think this would have been a far better album. And next at number 8, we're going to go with Somewhere in England. And this one, I don't know. There's definitely moments on this one again. Like I said, it's so tough to rank these in a way. And I suppose I'm looking at what's coming up next. I suppose everybody's kind of shocked this one isn't there yet. But yeah, we'll get to that soon. But anyways, yeah, Somewhere in England, all those years ago, really love that song. Great song off here. Teardrops, I do like that one a lot too. Kind of the lows on it, I think, might be he didn't give his all on this one. The record label had rejected his original track listing, his original cover, everything on it. And I think he just kind of came back and just didn't give it everything he wanted to give it. And that could be part of the lows on this and why it doesn't really rank too high, resonate too well with a lot of people. It is a fun album, good album to listen to. I remember this one was a little higher at points for me, but then it just kind of slipped down a little. So that'll be Somewhere in England at number 8. And next up at number 7, the record that I think has resonated with me the most out of all of them, and I think it is the one that people probably hate the most too, but I absolutely love it. I'm having a hard time not putting this at number 2 or something crazy, but I kind of say with album rankings, I kind of want to go what album I'd want to put on right now to listen to right now. And honest to God, I would put this on in a heartbeat. I don't know why it's so fun to listen to. This is kind of coming on the backside of Somewhere in England with that album being rejected. And he had this, contractual obligation to get this album out. And he just kind of did it to do it and didn't give a rip about it. And I don't know, maybe that helped it. I don't know. I think people need to give this a re-listen, unless it was just me. I don't know. But I really, really fell in love with it. Wake Up My Love, starting out, great song. I know it's got a little on that synthesizedness, but I really like the sound of it. It's of its time, and I think that represents it well with that. I wrote down too many songs here. I like too many of them. And That's the Way It Goes. Really like that one. I Really Love You. I don't think he's singing the lead on that, obviously, but the song is just fun. It really is. Baby Don't Run Away. I really like that one. The background singer, the female background singer that's singing with him, really plays well off of his voice. I believe her name is Sarita or something. I'm not sure. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. I've really been trying to dig. Wikipedia hasn't been helping me too much on who exactly it is on that one. And then Dream Away, it's the same background singer with him on that one, and I just love their voice together. She's got just a spectacular voice. Yeah, I really connected with this album. I was even driving to work one morning and listening to it, and it just, obviously you're driving to work, you're not going to be in the best of moods. You're going to work, whatever. And I was driving, and I was just so happy that morning, and I kind of looked up and kind of gave a thanks to George, and I just kind of, after that, I kind of had just weird feeling of just joy and happiness and emotion. And for a record to do that for you, it's got to be good. It really does. Yeah, I'm getting emotional just talking about it right now too. So I don't like seeing this one really brought down. And I think people need to give it another shot. I can't put it any higher than number 7 with how good these other albums are. It's hard to put this any higher than number 7. I want to. At any given moment, it could be my number 1. Like I said, it would be probably my top choice just put on to listen to. but also I think I had a good connection with it, with that moment there that day. So maybe that, is why it's resonating so much with me on that. Anyways, Gon Trapo, number 7. Please give it another listen. You might have a different take on it. I did forget to mention the lows on Gon Trapo. The only thing I could really come up with was that there were a couple of songs that wasn't really him in the lead on the vocals, and that could be about the only thing I could really bring down. But the guy that he picked to be the lead was really an interesting, unique voice and really made the song what it is. So there's kind of my lows with Gon Trapo, and now we'll get on to number 6. And number 6 is going to be the only one I don't have on LP, George Harrison. And this one, I'm forgetting to say when they were released on February 20th of 1979. Highs on it, I really love Love Comes to Everyone. Not Guilty, him finally getting to put that out there. I know he was working with that with the Beatles. Blow Away is a great song. And another thing I noticed, aside from some of the lyrics being misheard by me, a couple of car songs in this collection of music. Faster. Of course, I'm a car guy. Love cars. Probably the Beach Boys introduced me to car music and whatnot, and I think that's why I love cars so much, is listening to the Beach Boys. I never realized George had a couple of car songs, but yeah, Faster's a pretty cool song. I love those F1 engines just ripping through your speakers there. It's so cool on that noise, especially from those late 70s, early 80s F1 cars. Just chills thinking about it. But anyways, lows at this point, it's hard for me to put any lows on any of these albums. Good album, it really is, and I can't really pick it apart too much. I know I try not to be super critical of stuff, and I guess like it's hard for me. I can definitely say what I really like, but picking apart lows on albums like that one or the next coming ones here, it's tough. But yeah, that'll be George Harrison at number 6. And already to the top 5 here, and boy, these ones I had a hard time. They flip-flopped quite a bit with each other. Number 1, I think everybody already knows it. Spoiler alert. Yeah, that one was pretty solidly there. That better be with almost everybody's George Harrison ranking. This one, I can't believe it's mid-pack, but it is. Living in the Material World. Such a great album, but yeah, I've got 4 other albums I like a little better than this one right now. And like I said, if I revisit this, I mean, this could rank even higher next time I revisit the list, so I'm not going to apologize too much for it, I guess. So, but yeah, Living in the Material World, number 5. Highs, I put down the A side. The A side's great. The B side does let it down a little, as maybe the low on it is just not quite as strong as the A. Any specific songs off of it? I mean, Living in the Material World, such a great song. It's just too many to name. It really is. It's a great album. It really was listening to it one night in my car one evening, going to get some dinner, and wasn't finding a parking spot. Was driving around downtown trying to find a parking spot. This was on, and I kept going, wow. As I was going track to track, and I'm going, wow, it's really great. And, just sitting listening to it, chilling in the basement here, everything kind of just relaxing and chilling. This is more of a relaxing and chilling album than driving down the highway album. But as I was driving around looking for a parking spot, I suppose I wasn't driving that fast. So it was really good in that moment there. And there's my number 5. And coming in at number 4, it's going to be 33&a-third. I've been alluding to this one as being going to be ranking pretty high. I did have it a little higher not long ago, but as I got re-listening to some of the other albums, it kind of knocked it down a little. But this is kind of in that Gon Trapo category. It was probably between this and Gon Trapo I'd put on in a heartbeat. It's just kind of fun albums, really kind of joyous. And this one's got those great horns on it. Really sounds great on the album. Great with the songs on here. Let's see, and that was kind of one of the highs I put on there. This was released on November 19th of 1976. Some of the songs that I'm going to just kind of shout out to would be this song, Crackerbox Palace, kind of cop-out ones, I guess, but they are great songs. And then It's What You Value. There's that other car song I found. Yeah, 33&a-third at number 4. And coming in at number 3, this one I know is one that's top spots on a lot of people's list. Usually number 2, because like I said, All Things Must Pass is just too big of a juggernaut to not be your number 1. Not saying it should be with everybody. If you got a different opinion on that, great. That's your opinion, and that does matter. So if you do differ a little, but I haven't seen a lot of people that don't put All Things Must Pass as number 1. This one's usually the number 2. I had a hard time connecting with it, but Cloud 9 will be number 3. I always really liked it. It just wasn't like 33&a-third at the moment was kind of sitting up a little higher with me, and I just couldn't. Even All Things Must Pass, I think for a while I had this at number 5, and just as I kept listening to it and listening to it. And I said in my Dark Horse Years, What's in the Box video I did mention that my iTunes doesn't want to play this album for some reason. I got trouble with any of my songs I rip into my library. I'll hit play and it'll just disappear. And this was one of them that every time I tried, and I did something the other day, I re-downloaded everything, kind of changed some of the names on the songs. I don't know, I think that might help. Maybe. Hit play, luckily it played, and I listened to it a few times over while driving. I've been listening to the album, obviously, on the weekends too and stuff. So I really kind of sat with it, and yeah, it definitely finally hit me to where, yes, I can see what everybody's saying in it. It's no longer just mid-pack for me. This is top-tier material. Yeah, every song on here is great. I was trying to figure out my note there. Of course, it was released on November 2nd of 1987. I was looking at it, I'm like, what song is called All? Yes, all songs are great on here. This Is Love, of course. I got to give that one a little shout out. When We Was Fab, how can that one not be great? Devil's Radio. The only low I got on it that I can give it any sort of criticism to is everybody's favorite song off of it is Got My Mind Set on You, which, yes, I would put as one of the highs on it. But it is his most popular song on it. It's probably one of his most popular solo Beatles songs. And it's a cover, an absolutely fantastic cover. But that's one thing I might put as a low on this album. This is the other album that's got the lyrics misheard by me so many times. I think Anakin Skywalker kind of has these visions every now and then. His aren't too good.
I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere.
But yes, A Fish on the Sand. I don't know why every time I hear it, it's a vision of sand. It's a vision of sand. You can thank me on that one too, that I just ruined that for you. If you've always heard Fish on the Sand and now you're hearing nothing but Vision of Sand, and you think of Anakin thinking about how it gets in everywhere, yeah, thank me for that one. But there we go, Cloud 9 at number 3. And at number 2, I think this one's going to surprise a lot of people, but this album just hit me. I loved it. I've always really liked it. Every time I've listened to it before I got onto this George journey here, but it is Brainwashed. And yes, I finally got my LP. I was talking to Sam St. John when he had his whole little debacle with Amazon and his Rolling Stones mono colored vinyl box set. He ended up at Target. And I said, yeah, you check Target sometimes. You will find some good box sets there. My little secret now getting out there in the world. Box sets and different albums and stuff. If you check there, I swear they get like backlog from other people's like warehouses. Like they'll just get old product all of a sudden brought in and it's there and it's fairly cheap. I got this for less than $20 and I'm really excited about it. I literally just listened to it before I sat down to film these. So I just got it the other day. I absolutely love this album though. Absolutely love it. And again, it's another one that, every song on here is just great. I feel like it's a grower too. Like you got to listen to it a couple of times, especially in a row. And that was what I was doing in my car. I had it playing, so it was like, yeah, we'll hit play again once the album got done. Part of it was just I enjoyed it that much. I just wanted to hear it again. I just wanted to hear Any Road kicking off again and moving on there. I really felt every listen, it just got better and better and better for me. So if you are connecting with this one, give it a couple listens in a row there. See what you think. And you're going to find out it's a fantastic album. And kind of surprising being that it was released after he passed there, that it wasn't really finished and it still came out that great. What could have been if he would have been alive to finish it, to really finish it? How much better would it have been? Yeah, some of the songs I'm going to call out, I already mentioned Any Road, P2 Vatican Blues, This Saturday Night, Rising Sun, great tune, Marwa Blues, on and on and on is what I wrote on the notes there. Lows, aside from what could have been even better had he been alive maybe. That's about the only low I can think of on it. But yeah, Brainwashed at number 2. I'm very excited about that. And as everybody probably already knows, because I already pretty much said it, number 1, All Things Must Pass. And yes, this is my 50th anniversary edition one. I don't have an original copy of this on vinyl. So this is what you get. But yeah, how can this not be number 1? I really got to ask that question. It's just great song after great song. What Is Life? I'm going to just right away as the high on it. That is not just one of the highlights off of this album, in my opinion, but it's probably one of my favorite songs of all time. It's that good. I absolutely love that song. Another one I really had a moment with, thinking about my parents. That song came out right about when they got married. And it really says their story in that song. And I'm sure a lot of people, that's how it is too. And I was listening to it one day driving to work, got all emotional thinking about that too. So, and I'm getting emotional just just speaking it here right now too. They just literally had their 50th anniversary this past summer, and I really wanted that to be kind of the theme song of their big party we threw for them. But we're kind of straying off of why All Things Must Pass is so great. I guess not really though, because we are talking about how great that song is. I mean, just every song on here. The only thing I could put as a low on it is that Isn't It a Pity had that second version. I think it would have been better placed to put another song on there in place of that. That second version isn't as good as the first. To begin with, isn't it a pity that that happened? All right, unintended there. Yeah, and also the Apple Jam, just so great as a triple album. I mean, how many artists got triple albums? That's just unbelievable. And the Apple Jam disc, yes, I wouldn't say that it either brings it down or brings it up. I think it's just kind of a nice little bonus there. I don't want to call it a bonus track or bonus disc or anything, but it is part of the album. But I don't think that it does anything to deter from how great the album is. So, but yeah, I mean, what more can you say on it? It's just a fantastic album. Probably the greatest Beatles solo album too of their solo careers. I would find it hard to believe I could even put anything by Paul McCartney. How much I love Paul McCartney. I don't know if I could put anything even above this from him. So there we go, number one. I hope I didn't ramble on and babble on too much with everything there. I really had fun sitting and just really focusing on his music. And Sam St. John, if you are watching this, I've told you I haven't listened to the Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers live at the Fillmore East set yet because I've been so focused on John and George. I'm done with that. I'm literally listening to that album right now. So be on the lookout. I'll be letting you know somehow my thoughts on it. But so far, yeah, really good. But I've really enjoyed listening to all these albums over the past month or two. I've really focused on them, and that's pretty much been my soundtrack is just George and John. And I think it's going to become a more frequent thing, even not researching an album ranking. I've always listened to these albums, but never this seriously, and I feel like I've been doing myself a disfavor. I really want to keep these on heavy rotation with everything else too, but I do got to take a break from it and listen to some other artists for a little while. So Tom Petty, you're up next, I guess. So, but anyways, I want to get wrapping up here and signing out. Again, I want to thank everybody for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Especially want to thank those new subscribers. So big thanks to you if you do subscribe right now. If you stuck around to this part of the video, you must like it. So please subscribe to the channel so you know when I got, and hit the notification bell too so you know when I got the next videos coming out. I'm getting all over the place here. Feel like I've been going too long on this. All right. But anyways, do give the video a like. Please leave a comment. I want to hear your thoughts. Let me know your ranking. Where do you put everything? Remember, too, we're all going to have different opinions. So, you know, you might put Gontrop as number one, and I'm going to probably say, yes, that's a great option. So you can't go wrong with any of these 10 albums. You really can't. Even those other two albums as experimental ones. You know, if those are your favorites, that's great. I want to hear that. That's awesome that you connected with that album that way. But anyways, I'm Beetle Dustino, signing out.